Good Friday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks all about my cars and trucks and SUVs and motorcycles and the kid and the dogs and life. And oh wow, good morning there. Wow, it's Friday. Hey, thanks for those that tune in my channel. Appreciate all the help and support, which I need that help, don't I think we all need help. And wow, just another beautiful, I mean, this is incredible. 17th of November, and I'm wearing little to nothing. And you'd think I'd probably have a heavy jacket on and a buff on to stay warm, but no way. It's just incredibly beautiful up here. Just so nice. I mean, this is definitely like motorcycle riding day, but wow, the adventures of the week. What are we doing? I tell you what, no, you can jinx yourself in life. I mean, I think I just about died yesterday. I'm not making this stuff up. This is crazy. Yesterday morning, I was talking about how that tree right there truly is on its way out. And, oh, you know, should the tree fall down, wow, huh. Man, wouldn't that just be terrible? A tree fell down the wrong way in my driveway. And one of my YouTube subscribers, he's funny, Armor Retired, he said, yeah, with my luck, that damn tree would fall down, take out the whole barn, or the whole shed there, and it still would miss the electric vehicles. I thought that was pretty classic. Yeah, but for me, oh my gosh, yesterday I had to go out to Winchester, Virginia to get equipment for my business, and I'm coming back in, and I go through a major intersection on these back roads through a light, and I just about got creamed. I just about had a guy in a full-size, like, you know, mega style truck with truck and trailer, landscape equipment. Out of just my peripheral view, as I'm going through the intersection, I see this truck locking it up and a trailer locking it up. And I mean, he's getting ready to go into like the side of me, and I nail it, electric truck. And I mean, it's like out of the movies. How he just goes by me without being able to stop as I just narrowly get, T-boned by him. Wow. Yeah, be careful of what you wish for. Because would that truck probably been totaled? Probably would have. Would I be making a YouTube channel today? I don't know. Would I ever be making a YouTube channel again? I don't know. Yeah, video I should say, but oh wow. Oh my goodness gracious. So here we are in the never-ending projects of me talking, right? Sharing all the love and the hate. Is it the hate? The love and discussions about all my different cars and trucks and motorcycles. And I thought, boy, this week's conversations I think are pretty cool, because I had on Monday the commitment. We all have a commitment in life to accomplish things. Tuesday was the goals. I think we all get goals. Wednesday was the rejection, which we all experienced that. And then yesterday was the negativity. And I thought, wow, how could I finish out the week? And I thought, hey, what about a positive conversation video? The positive things in our lives, which that's challenging as well. And so here I am in the shop, got my mice bait system set up, and I'm catching these little critters, thank goodness. And I think I got most of them actually, because there's none of the traps here this morning. So let's get the dogs in the office so we can get the round table discussion of the positive conversation. Thought it'd be a great conversation because it's Friday, end of the week. Hey, Willow! A lot of people are getting everything in order to get out of town. Oh, well, and get their next week holiday for Thanksgiving going. Just hard to believe for me that the end of the year is here. End of the year. And what a year for me. It's just been a positive year. In so many ways, yes, but in so many ways, extremely challenging year for me. Probably the most in my life in most recent times, because of a lot of negativity, a lot of things happened around the family, around the business. But I don't give up. I just keep on chugging along. I think most people all are on the same page in that life, is for all the hardships and hard knocks that you go through, you just try to prevail and move on. Yeah, oh, there's one little guy. He was in that trap over there. Yes, there's one little guy. He was in that trap, and he's finagled that cheese. I got to move that back. There he went, too. I'm going to move it back here. Why didn't I have that thing way back there? But he's so small, he may not activate that damn thing. All right. So anyways, it's all about the mice, right? Of men and mice. Yes, do we know that story? So look at this here. Wow, I cleaned up the Super Bee last night. This thing is so cool. I mean, is that a positive thing in my life? It is. I mean, I just love my vehicles. And I'm just such the Mopar guy. I mean, it's so interesting how I kind of fizzled away from Mopar for a while with the Ford Mustang product. But I mean, I'm just truly the Mopar guy. And yes, do I really want to keep all these cars? I really do, but it's very expensive. So, so here's the Triumph Rocket. Last night I made a little how-to video on how to put that little screen on. That thing was doggone thing was complicated. It was so befuddling on how to put that damn screen on this bike. But I think it'll be a positive experience for me, because I think it's going to get some air off my body. And, you know, even the point today, do I jump on this thing and ride around just to kind of get some riding time on her? And so, yeah, so let's just go back outside here. I always like to try to keep the car theme with the verb, the adjective, the noun, whatever you want word we're kind of using today. And I thought that the positive on for me has been, you know, in so many ways, I'm just kind of taken back on what I accomplished so far this year. And the danger part is it's not over yet. I thought to myself, wow, the other day, the amount of cars I bought this year. And if you watch my video, watch my channel, January this past year, I was so more on the page of not really being too crazy this year, buying a lot of cars. But yet here it is. And if you kind of just look at my driveway, there's one new purchase, a Wagoneer, the Grand Cherokee. That's a number 2 purchase. The Bronco's a number 3 purchase. The Gladiator's number 4. Power Boost is number 5. The Vapor Blue Mustang's number 6. The Tremor Truck's number 7. We go in the garage. We've got the Plum Crazy, that's 8. We've got the Smoke Show, it's number 9. Indian Pursuit beside here, that's number 10. KTM dirt bike, we'll just say, number 11. Triumph motorcycle here, number 12. Harley Davidson CVO, 13. Harley Davidson Lowrider, 14. You go into the trailer, and I bought the Harley Davidson CVO 21. What's that? 15. Indian Chief Bobber at 16. A Honda Fury, that's 17. Honda Goldwing, that's 18. Honda CBR 650, 19. Honda Trail Bike, 20. There's something else in there that even for me, I can't remember. The other day I counted, I think, 22 vehicle purchases. I think there's something that I've actually sold that's not even here. So it's just too much information. But here, so wow, what an incredible year for me. Saying, which at 11 months in, I'm basically now at 2 vehicles a month. Wow. Wow. Even for me, I'm like, wow. I just wish I could think off the tip of my tongue. There's 2 other vehicles that are just, I just can't remember that I bought, and then whatever. So, oh, okay. So here's the next, here's some positive news in some ways. Other ways, I'm getting the race truck back up here from Tennessee. So my daughter and wife are actually heading to Tennessee for the weekend to go to see her mother and her grandmother. And that's going to give my daughter an opportunity to bring back my race truck, which if anybody here, you're well aware of that Ford 2-door lowered F-150 truck that I have. I call the Ford race truck. And yeah, so that's down there in Tennessee. And I'm going to get that thing back. I can't even keep track of time. I'm thinking right now, I think the last time I was down in Tennessee was like, was it back in August, September? I tell you what, as we all progress, it's so challenging to keep yeah, but anyway, so you know what the big question people ask me a lot, even out in the street, is, you know, what's your favorite vehicle? You know, what's your favorite vehicle? So on the positive side, trying to keep things on the positive side, this past week, I tried to share the different, you know, personalities that these vehicles have. That sometimes, you ever notice a car personality fits the person's personality? You ever kind of thought about that? And so there's the kid. The kid is going to the horse first to get the horse taken care of before they head to Tennessee today. and I got the responsibility of babysitting that German Shepherd Kiefer dog all weekend. Wow. Is that going to be a positive experience? That dog will wear you out. So here you are. So I always think to myself, boy, oh boy, if it ever came to dire straits in my life, and I literally had to say, okay, I can only keep like one vehicle or two vehicles. And I can tell you right now, the answer would be this right here. It would be this vehicle. If I had to get rid of everything in my life, it would be this truck, because this truck is so versatile. It's so comfortable, so powerful. Another thing I didn't mention the other day when we were talking about these vehicles, the negative on this truck, I was talking about that, and I was thinking to myself yesterday after I made the video that there is one big negative on this truck per se. And that is that the Maroni sticker on the window said I get 23 miles per gallon average. I've never seen it. It's a 20 mile per gallon vehicle. I'll take it. I mean, for a big size truck like this and the power, comfort, I'll take it. But there's a negative. I never got to 23. How do you get 23? I have no idea. I mean, I just drive highway. I'm at the slow poke getting around, so I just don't know about that. But here's the thing. The positive side of me in my life is it's always been about the truck. That's really my true beginning. So it's trucks. I just love trucks. And in so many ways, if you just look around and count how many trucks I have, even though I've kind of changed the dynamics here, kind of adding some more cars, but I've had more of the heavier truck, especially back in the 90s. All I had was trucks and SUVs and maybe a car. The car was for my wife. So it was just more about all about the truck. So anyways, that would be my number one pick vehicle for me if I had to go down the dire straits of not having anything. Now, you say, well, what's your favorite vehicle overall? Man, that's where it gets very challenging, because each one has its own personality, and there's so many positives, like this Ford Bronco Raptor. I mean, for me, just one of the nicest packages of a vehicle that's so versatile in so many aspects. This is it right here, the Ford Bronco. I'd have to take this as my nicest SUV, off-road style, back-road type of vehicle. And there's the kid going to see the horsey. And it didn't even wave. Jeez, yikes, right? Wow. So anyways, with the F-250 truck over here, I mean, that's one of my favorites per se, but it just isn't practical. It's just too big. So I mean, but it's a really cool vehicle, the Jeep Gladiator. So the positives, what do you make out of the positives? That's a challenge in life, because all of us go through the negative times, negative environments, and that's the big challenge. Can you overcome those and try to create the negative things into a positive thing? And that's what I think that separates so many people in life that are the winners and the losers, is where the negativity, the losing, whatever may happen, the positivity of that individual just prevails and pulls through and gets the win. And that's what, it's all about. I mean, these cars are such a reflection of losing versus winning in so many aspects of our life. I mean, because number one, if you race a Hellcat in this 392 setup, you're going to lose. The person who owns the Hellcat's going to win. If you raced me on my Triumph, on your typical, not the big performance bike per se, you're going to lose. I'm going to win. But at the same time, these are price products. Not so much anymore, though. These freaking cars have gotten so expensive. But a positive side on this vehicle here is a lot of people are responding to my short video of my daughter getting this vehicle. A lot of people are, think it's pretty cool. My daughter has her first car and her first name. And to me, that's in her personal name to be financed, along with me co-signing it. And some feel like that's crazy, or we paid way too much. And we did not. I mean, this is a very positive experience for my daughter, because we got a great deal on the car. We put money down, and she doesn't owe a ton of money in this car. She could literally say, hey, Dad, I want to sell the car. And you'd be like, okay, sell the car. And we'll have a chunk of money to go buy something else. So that's a positive. For me, that's a very positive thing. My wife was very accept with me buying that car back and putting my daughter's name on it. So that was kind of a very negative environment for a while. But I think after a while, with me just trying to really explain to her to understand better that this is not a vehicle I'd ever put my daughter an exposure of paying for a brand new car. I mean, I told my wife, and I think most people too, would be like, yeah, go out and buy your daughter a brand new Dodge Challenger Scat Pack wide body that's going to retail for 60, 70 grand. And then, you know, the tax and tags, and then you put a little bit of money down, and now your daughter has, you know, basically a $70,000 debt against her. I would not do that. There's no way. There's no way I'm going to do that, because you know where it all goes. If she can't pay the payments, which she wouldn't be able to anyways, the payments would be huge. It's just all a catastrophic failure. And that's what's so interesting about where we are in today's society. It seems that so many things we witness could be handled that could be a more positive experience. But the people that are just anymore, I think we have Looney Tunes. We truly do. We have the Looney Tunes of Looney Tunes more than ever in our society that have gained power somehow to influence others to the narrative and direct things that are just beyond believable, that truly are negative, very negative. That's what I was talking about yesterday in my channel, was the negativity that this city administration has brought to this country. It's beyond believable. But so many people, I think, are oblivious to they're living in the most negative times in their lifetime. They just don't. I think they're like the frog in the on the stove in a pot of warm water, where you turn on the stove and the water begins to boil, and eventually the frog just dies. I mean, that's where we are in today's society. We have so many people that truly have let the media machine brainwash them that there's not really that, you know, bad at times for you, and everything's really just really humming along fine. So everything's beautiful. So the positive experience of me owning my Harley Davidson motorcycles for so many years, I've been very fortunate because I haven't had many major issues, knock on wood. But I mean, I've always had a good experience with Harley, and that's why I like the Harley product. Talked about it yesterday. The positive experience with Indian, I didn't really think that Indian had a positive experience, and it took me about 5 years to come to closure to buy one. And the Indian Challenger really made me feel like it's the better product than the Harley Davidson Road Glide. And I even had a CVO 2018, that the positive experience of my first 2020 Indian Challenger truly had me sell my 2018 CVO Road Glide, which was the Dark Earth first year 117 motor, beautiful bike. In so many ways, I kind of regretted selling that motorcycle. But the Indian overall gave me much more satisfaction and enjoyment, and I just felt that was a very positive experience, along with my Dark Horse Roadmaster. So all that really kind of pushed me away from Harley Davidson, and I kind of really got away from them for a few years, per se. I always had a Harley, but I didn't have a bunch of them. And the Indian was more of a positive experience. But now you come full circle, and here I've gone out and bought that Indian Pursuit, as everybody knows this discussion, and all the positive experiences of my Indians have now been ruined by the negativity of this Pursuit. And for the record, Indian did reach out to me yesterday. I had to call him, and the individual, Nate at Indian, I guess the home, branch, or the home of Indian's manufacturing, wherever it is, he was not available, but he did text me, and he said that he would give me updated information today at 1 o'clock and would give me a call. So is that conversation to be a positive one? It'd be very interesting to see how they're going to pursue this Indian challenge, because so many people in the Indian forum, that when I get on there and I read about, the different experiences that people have had with Indian over the years, and so many of them are just sharing so many stories, how Indian just hits the ignore button. It's just the ignore. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. And for me, it'd be so nice for him just to buy that damn thing back. And then do I take that and do I buy, another Indian motorcycle? I don't know. I mean, it's really going to come down to how they kind of handle things. And so for the positive experience for me would be all about them truly coming, to me and saying, okay, we're going to buy your motorcycle back, versus them coming back and saying, well, we're just going to trade you out that bike for something else. And I'd be like, why wouldn't you just give me an opportunity to me to start from scratch and see if I really want to buy another Indian product this time? And the big Indian reveal that just came out here a week ago for the 2024 models, it isn't really anything per se that has really made me think like, wow, I'd really want to buy that new model. I'm just not there. And it's interesting how the Pursuit is still on the page. So the pursuit of happiness, right? Yeah, if you watch my videos, you'll see all this stuff from a year ago, me trying to buy that Indian Pursuit. It's just like that thing in borderline was jinxed. So, all right, let's kind of get it up here. And once again, you know, the positives, and that's what I thought to myself. I guess I could kind of step back here is what drives you to buy a car? And do you have a positive experience of buying that car? And that's something that I think is a huge challenge more than ever because we're just so transparent now with the internet and information, social media. But, you know, it's interesting on how so many people just dread going to the car dealership to the point that that's why Tesla was one of the first to be the online order and not have to deal with the dealership infrastructure. And for many people, they felt that was a positive experience because you just hear so many stories of individuals that don't have a very positive experience to go out and buy their car. Some people just, you know, they dread it. They despise it. They call them the stealerships. And for me, if you watch my channel, you know I'm always in and out of car dealerships and motorcycle dealerships, buying things, and I just kind of develop relationships, and that's part of the positive experience of me getting deals done. That even for me, as I've said many times, did I think this would transpire? No way. I did not think that this car would come back without me having to give something up. And I was just on the page not giving anything up to try to get that car. So it's either we get it with no trade or we just don't get it. So that was a very positive experience. I was able to add this Triumph to my fleet of motorcycles that haven't traded anything. So that was a very positive experience. But once again, many people, they go to these dealerships and that positive experience doesn't happen. It's a very negative experience. But here's the point. What drives us to want to have the positive experience? Meaning, for anybody here that buys a car, truck, SUV, motorcycle, you put a lot of time into research and you try to figure out, you know, what is your vision, what is your feelings of what you feel will be a positive decision. And that's challenging. Just like me, as I've spoken many times about this Indian Pursuit back here, had I known this was having the issue, that front end wheel wobble, and I was more abreast to the Indian Pursuit's challenges, I never would have bought it. But for me, the problem is I own an Indian Challenger. I never had issues, and I thought putting a tour pack in the back of it and lowers, why would that bike be any different than that bike right there? So how wrong was I? If I ever really did my studying, I would have realized the Pursuit was not the motorcycle to buy at this time because it has an engineering flaw. But that's all, you know, up and down and debatable and like whatever. But the whole point here is your goal is buying a car is to be a positive experience. And you know, and as we know, and then once you buy the car, is it a positive experience? I mean, who here hasn't bought a car that ends up getting it and they regret it? It's buyer's remorse. I mean, come on, who hasn't had that experience? I read stories on forums and I hear the stories. Somebody goes out and buys a Ford Mustang and the Mustang gives them problems. And that person, from that point on, they'll never buy a Ford Mustang ever again in their life. There's people who bought the Ford Broncos with that 2.7 liter motor that had catastrophic engine failure. They'll never buy a Bronco ever again in their life. They just like the Ford's a piece of junk. I mean, there's so many people that will, you know, talk about Dodge. Like I have so many people, Ram, it's a piece of junk. I have so many, you know, people I've run into, oh, the Rams, they just fall apart as you get older. Those are terrible vehicles to own. Those things just shake and shimmy and rattle, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you hear all the stories. Now, for me, if you come to me and say, what about an electric vehicle? I'd say, well, what's your goal? I mean, you want to have a positive experience? What are you doing? Well, I'm driving back and forth to work 20 miles a day. Well, part of me would be like, why do you want an electric vehicle? You're not going to be buying gas, but very, very, you know, minimal. Yeah. So anyways, let's keep it upbeat, right? How do we keep things upbeat and positive after the dictator of China, the leader of the Communist Party, came to our country, and all these other leaders and individuals of our country bowed down to this guy like he's the king in so many ways. I mean, wow, just watching the videos and seeing the social media, and it gets heavy and thick, right? So So here's the positives for me. I got to back up. I know I walk around and maybe I'm giving you ill, but the positives here in my life is I right now, for the first time in my Mopar years, have been, blessed in so many ways to be able to own 2 Chargers and 2 Challengers. I mean, this is just incredible how I have pulled off my life to have, in my eyes, the nicest package vehicles you could buy, being the Hellcat Red Eyes, between the Challenger and Charger, that has the Demon motor set up in each one of them, and then to have the Scat Pack packages, which is just a really nice, in some ways, affordable vehicle, and to have just incredible flavors of really cool different colors, because we got the Smoke Show, the Frostbite, the Gold Rush, and the Plum Crazy. And I mean, for me, wow. Would I keep all these over the Fords? I would. I mean, if it came down the day, I'd start getting rid of things. I would all day long prefer to get rid of the Ford Mustangs and other vehicles. And the reason I would do that is because you've got these vehicles that aren't going to be built anymore. And that's what I talked about yesterday was the negative for Dodge is they're going to lose their customer base in so many ways because this is going bye-bye. All right, let's get upstairs and continue the positive conversations as we've got the holidays and family. So I'm drinking my coffee, just so you know. Are you going to have a positive holiday experience? I mean, is that challenging? Anybody has family? Extremely challenging. And for me, I'm straddled to my business this year because of the help that I don't have anymore. And then a great friend of mine who got cancer, who's going through recovery, and I think he is going to recover, but he lost 55 pounds of weight during his chemo. And he's a great friend of mine. I've known him for 30 plus years, and he's worked for me and on a part-time basis. And he always helped me when I leave town. He'd babysit my house and babysit all the dogs, even though we took some of the dogs. But he'd be available first of next year to help me kind of back on the business end and babysit my house. So my wife is so much more of a conservative individual. She just doesn't want anybody in her house. She just doesn't trust anybody. My wife is like, it's like the negative and the positive, 2 opposing energies. But you need that in life, relationships. So we get this over here going. And so I'm straddled here to not really traveling. If you kind of watch my YouTube channel, you probably could say, I don't see the Iceman going to Tennessee like you see him going down Tennessee. We don't see him down there riding motorcycles. I don't see him down in Florida, where my mother is older and not good health. And so it's such a, in some ways, very negative time in my life because of the challenges that I have, not only running a company, but also being able to separate myself from my company and be able to have time with my family. So it's very, very challenging at this time of my life. But I try to make the best of it. And the way you have to look at things is it's not forever. At some point, my good friend, I feel, will be back. And that'll open the door back up for me to do traveling again and make it all work. So, and that's a challenge, for us. And that's why I love that book, Think and Grow Rich. Because the first thing that Napoleon Hill said was, do you have a positive mental attitude? That was the first thing out of the gate that I read when I was very, very young. You're talking for me, when I just got going in my career at a very young age. That was the number of things stuck in my head, was a positive mental attitude. Because I witnessed so many people have such negative attitudes. Who hasn't been around a person or the environment that it's always negativity. Who wants to be around it? I want nothing to do with it. It's the worst. And sadly, what really blows me away is how many YouTube channel, incredibly successful YouTubers, in my views, I could be wrong because it shows the subscription base of, hundreds of thousands of subscribers and the amount of hits their videos get, of the thousands, huge hits, and their content is a negative content. It's basically, to me, it's like we were just watching Fox News through YouTube, but not Sean Hannity, but Dan the Man. You're watching MSNBC through, a YouTube channel, through, whatever. I mean, so it's just incredible on how the negative environment, how it just sucks in so many people. And I think it's because I feel like the people are really looking forward to the negative result, the negative end result. And I certainly feel like, I know for a fact when Donald Trump was brought into office, there were so many people who didn't like him. They were only hoping, in so many ways that he would have total failures in his presidency. And so I'm sure many, many people that don't support Donald Trump back in his day didn't want to spend the money, didn't want to do certain things. They just didn't want to help the Trump guy look like he was the right guy in office. There's no doubt in my mind that there's people that would love to undermine Joe Biden, that he would be, just negative, 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 because they don't want him to look like he's actually accomplished anything under his views and ideology. And so the point is, I think there's so many people that, it's like the negative, you remember yesterday, talking about the atoms, the electron, the neutron, the proton, electron is the negative, charge in the atom. And what's the positive? It's like the Pluton or something like that. I'm not the scientist. Somebody watch my channel. I'm not the guy. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. Okay, I'll raise my hand instantly and tell you, yeah, I'm sure you can tell me a lot more than I know. That's great. I love to learn things and hear things. I think that's great. So it's all about. So I think that we just have a sector of people that just are so drawn in to wanting to see the negative end result. And that's the danger. Because I truly believe in so many ways we live in a country today that wants to see the destruction and failure of the country. And people be like, that's radical. Well, you're witnessing it. You're witnessing that so many people elect officials that support the just truly undermining of the law of our country and the criminals and what is acceptable and what's not. And if you watch any social media, you just see the videos day in, day out of people that disrespect each other, people that beat the crap out of each other, people that steal from each other. I mean, you've seen lately the Amazon drivers are getting ransacked by the criminals. I mean, this is beyond believable. I mean, so years ago, you go back to my era of growing up, you had the retail stores where if a criminals wanted to go, break into it and steal stuff, couldn't do what you do today, but they would go to the local store. Well, now Amazon's created the moving store. So the criminals have figured out, wow, here's a rolling, moving store with all the goods that we can get and perishables to a degree, I'm sure, that we can ransack this guy's Amazon van. And the van could be up the back roads here where I live, but it's more like in the more heavier demographic population areas. But they're thriving on stealing from the Amazon packages that you or I order to enrich themselves. I mean, just beyond believable. And they're getting away with it. And the position I think that's radiated to these people is it's what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I mean, I was saying to my wife and a friend of mine the other day, it's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do for these leaders of our country that are, in so many ways, just kind of snub their nose to you? And what are you going to do to me? What are you going to do? I mean, and then you go to the polls to vote these people out, but the negative followers seem to show up in the droves to keep these people in power. And you have to wonder, what's the underlying goal? And I think that, sadly, instead of it being the positive, and once again, I'm trying to keep the video positive, and I'm sure some people are like, yeah, well, this is the most positive conversation. But the point is, I'm trying to radiate this morning is, we have a lot of people in this country that want to make things positive. But unfortunately, we have a lot of people that want to make it negative. And what are we witnessing today? More positive things or more negative things? So, and I went through the list yesterday. And so once again, I'm seeing last night that a FedEx truck in Texas, as the guy sitting in traffic, is being ransacked. Everybody's opened up the back doors And everybody's now looting the guy's FedEx truck. They claim $100,000 worth of goods were stolen out of this truck. I mean, just like, wow. So the negativity, you just feel in so many ways that so many people here in the country feel like want us to continue to have a very positive, more stable country that we've been known for so many years now, that people have strived to come here, that has totally gone into the negative, borderline chaos. I mean, incredible. They were saying last night, the Baltimore Ravens game and the Cincinnati Bengals game, somebody brought a drone into the stadium. Somebody had a drone hovering over the Baltimore Ravens stadium last night. Wow. I mean, man, it's getting weird. It really is. Anymore, you're just waiting for the breaking news of something radical to happen. So it's all the negativity. Wow. I mean, how do we bring the positive things back to the infrastructure of our country? I mean, how do we do that? How do we get out of this total negative control that's bringing in all the illegals? I mean, it gets so heavy and deep, and I'm sure some people are like, I was reading, so many foreign investors have pulled out of this country over like the last 10 plus years, that the heavy investments of this country are being pulled out in the treasuries and bonds. And so you think to yourself, why? Why? They say now it's about a 30% of the foreign investment in this country is today, versus it used to be like 43%. What are the foreigners seeing? What is going on? I mean, it's more dynamic than my pea-sized brain can digest on that. And for me, we witnessed the Xi Jinping gentleman come into the gentleman. I shouldn't even say that. The Xi Jinping guy that's in so many ways controls our country. Do we believe that? Do we actually feel like China really is at that point, that they really do in so many ways have the control of our country? And do you look at China in a positive way or a negative way? I saw Elon Musk. I made a comment on Twitter, or X, about Elon Musk, in so many ways, toe healing to Xi Jinping. Look at Elon Musk. He's got himself some ways in trouble right now. Maybe somebody's making comments on X that are anti-Semitic, and actually Elon Musk actually sided with him on these comments. So now there's the big guys are starting now to raise their eyebrows of Elon Musk supports an anti-Semitic social media platform, because he even agrees with this individual's views of what this person said that's going on around us. And for me on a YouTube channel, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, because it literally could be me creating my own end of my own YouTube channel, of me starting to, say things that are very apparent in front of us. But once I start saying this stuff, in so many ways, somebody can say, well, you have an anti-Semitic YouTube channel. And I'll be like, I'm just sharing with you what's being told out. I'm not the person saying it. I'm just sharing information. Oh, but you can't share that information. That's the challenge. Okay? So that's where you start to step back and go, wow, right? So what's going to be the positive? What can be positive in 2024? How can we progress next year into making it a more positive environment? Can we? Can we accomplish that next year? I think, sadly, it's going to be one of the most negative years in modern times of the media machine. It's going to be Trump. Does anybody really want to see the Donald Trump, Joe Biden rerun again? Oh my gosh, I just think, talk about a negative environment. That's all it's going to be. But it wouldn't even matter if Trump shows up, somebody else shows up. I truly believe that the negative environment that us, and so here's the point this morning that I have to emphasize to everybody watching my channel. It's the challenge of you overcoming the negativity to make it a positive end result. That's incredibly challenging. In fact, is the electron more powerful than the what is it? Whatever the positive term is. and the physics of our world. I mean, which has more power? Is it the negative? I mean, I'd be interested to know the person that's more in depth to the atoms and science. It would be good to hear somebody reach out and say, yeah, in fact, the electrons are more powerful than the whatever the word is. I can't remember it. It sounds like positive, but it's like Pluton or Plutone or something like that. I could be totally wrong with that, so don't take me to go take a science test today because you get an F, all right? I'll just tell you that straight up. But hey, I gave you a positive experience and me trying to help you, right? Yeah, anybody know those? Anybody know that result? Your friend gives you all the wrong information. Who hasn't been down that path, right? Yeah, you ever go to a car dealership? You try to get your car worked on, right? So yeah. So how do we ice age people? But here is a thing I think really is happening, which I'm excited about. This I really am. I think the ice age message is really getting out there. It isn't my channel, I'm saying, but I think that it's being shown that people don't want the electric vehicle. They don't want this EV. They want the ICE. They really want the ICE EV combination. They want the mixture, the hybrid. And sure enough, another article this morning in the Wall Street Journal I just read before I came out here to my office and started the YouTube channel is, for sure the what they're saying, which I've even talked about this, the cult of the techie people that want all this new technology and this new EV, transition. It's a pocket. It's a packet of people. And what they're saying is that they've gone through all those people, and that's the challenge now. I so witnessed this with the Dodge Hellcat. I remember when in 2014, the Tim Knuskis reveal of the Dodge Hellcat, like July of 2014, and everybody and their brother wanted to go buy one. Everybody and their brother. So the first year out, chaos of people trying to get a Hellcat. Into the second year, people are now, this is no lie. This is truthful. People were going to Obama's administration, filing a complaint against Dodge. It was FCA, Fiat Chrysler Automotive Group, back at that time. And they were filing complaints against how Dodge had promised them something they couldn't deliver. I'm not lying about that. That was going on. That's how bad it got. Okay, so now Dodge is being intimidated now by the governing bodies of our country to build these things as fast as they can. And so they ramp up production like you can't believe. Well, guess what? In the 2016 and 17 model year, they built so many of these doggone Dodge Hellcats that they couldn't sell them. Yes, there are so many stories of people getting these $70,000 Hellcats for $10,000, $15,000 off. Yes, this was going on back in 2017 into 18. There were so many leftover Hellcats. I can remember being on these Dodge forums, and there would be Hellcat forums, and there would people be like, oh man, I just picked myself up. This is 2018. I just picked up myself a brand new 2017 Dodge Challenger Hellcat that's been sitting on the lot for like a year and a half. I'm not lying to you. Wow. So the whole point is, it's the same thing in the EV industry. I think you had a pack of people that have just, congregated and went after this whole initial EV trend, and so the EV market was seeing an incredibly positive response to bringing these vehicles. They're talking right now, over a year ago, the demand for these EV vehicles over a year ago, really, was through the roof. They couldn't build them fast enough. People are paying incredible prices. Ask me how I know. It's part of all that. You go back to January, February of 2022, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. I mean, it really was on fire, really, through the first of the part of this year. But I think that cult of people, which I call the Tesla people, that they went through everybody. So now they've gone through that, and the rest of the people are more moderate, and maybe they're more negative. Or they're like, yeah, I don't see the positive experience of that vehicle. I don't see it like I talked about downstairs. Here's what's interesting. Some really key people are really getting upset with Elon Musk because he gets on X and he really does express his views that a lot of people are like, I'm out. I'm cashing out of all my Tesla stock, and I'm selling my Teslas, and I'm going to go to Rivian. Yeah. I mean, it's happening. Elon's stock is not doing very good. Look at Ford stock. Ford had a $19 stock a year ago. They now have like a $10, $9 stock. How much longer does Jim Farley have a positive attitude of his direction of his company as he's removed from his position? It wouldn't surprise me. That guy, Jim Farley, that guy's gets outed from Ford. I'll be amazed if he doesn't get out. I mean, the board members don't say this guy is like his cousin, who Chris Farley was, just a comic. In so many ways, Jim Farley's the same damn way. Just ask all these dealers having to deal with this guy. All right, everybody, I'm going to leave it at that. So, hey, I hope everybody has a positive Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Is that what they say? Thank goodness it's Friday. And I hope everybody has a great weekend. And once again, I think a lot of people, I know for me, in years past, I would possibly be packing it up to go to Tennessee this weekend, to go spend time down there in Tennessee for a week. And but that ain't happening. So the daughter's going to go down and bring back my race truck. How about that? So anyways, I'm going to go drive a 392. I got to go drive a 392. I got to go see if that's a positive experience. Danger is if it is, what's that going to turn me to want to do, right? All right, everybody. Hey, thanks for watching my channel. It's long. I know that. I like to talk. Can you tell? Hey, hope I get an answer from Indian today, and just stay tuned for maybe some shorties. So have a great day. Stay tuned, and God bless. Stay safe. Watch your back.